obviously there is a huge debate and a lot of uncertainty about the future of healthcare in this country. What does that mean for you?
I kind of come back to first principles when I think about this. And what I expect to happen is that nobody in DC will be suicidal enough and crazy enough to throw 25 million people who are individually insured right now back onto the market without insurance. I probably shouldn't call the play-by-play what's going to happen in the Senate, in the House, the next few weeks and months. But I do think at the end of the day, we're going to get to a market that's stable. And that will point hopefully also a bit more into towards the future. And the future, as I think it needs to be in US healthcare and health insurance, is individuals and consumers have to become more powerful, making choices in what healthcare they want and demanding better outcomes from the system, better value from the system. I think that's where, again, it connects to our mission. I mean, we built an insurance company that uniquely engages individuals on their healthcare with an eye towards lowering their healthcare costs and improving the quality of healthcare that they receive.
You guys are partnering with one of the biggest insurance providers in the country, Humana, launching healthcare for small businesses. Why would one of your rivals want to partner with you?
I think that's we came into the market with a very, very unique angle. If you look at the US healthcare system, we vastly overpay for what it produces. We pay about 18% of GDP for healthcare. Germany, where I'm from, Switzerland, Japan, all pay about 10, 11% of GDP. That's about $1 trillion per year that the US is overspending for the outcomes it gets. There are two things that are wrong, I think, with US healthcare at a vendor fundamental level. One is the data doesn't flow through the system in a very good way. And the second thing is nobody actually gets paid for outcomes, if you really look at the way the payment system works. And we thought 5 years ago we started the company, the insurer is in a unique position to do something about that. If we are able to make the data flow better, your doctor actually will know which other drugs you are on or what happens in the ER you might have visited a couple hours before. That's all the connectivity we provide. And we can also help tilt the system towards a system where you get paid less for fee for service, for stuff you do in a practice, and more for outcomes. What you need for that is a technology-driven insurance company that engages the consumer before you potentially even become sick. That's what we have built. What I think other partners in the system, like the Cleveland Clinic, which we have a risk-sharing plan with, we built, announced recently, and Humana in Nashville now for small businesses, is that they think that we have a very unique technology and engagement model that can help them get into this future where individuals will have more decision-making power in healthcare.
So talk to me about this tech-driven part of this. What makes Oscar a tech company rather than just another insurance company?
I'd say there's three categories of technology we built. We have a very unique model around engaging the consumer, the individual, again, long before you potentially even get sick. And as a result, we really were the first insurance company in the US, I think, that made telemedicine totally free, to the point where now 70% of all upper respiratory infections of Oscar members, or all rashes of Oscar members, get treated just over the phone or over chats, and totally for free. These are our doctors. You click a button, they treat you 24/7, no costs. That compares to maybe about 2 or 3% of members of other insurance companies having used telemedicine any given year. So vastly different in terms of user engagement, if you will. The second category of technology we built is really in having a full stack of technology insurance. We can tell in real time where our claims are coming in. We can tell the doctor in real time when somebody went to the emergency room, as an example, connect with you right away. And the third aspect is really that we build different partnerships with networks and with systems. As an example, I mentioned the Cleveland Clinic, with which we are launching a risk-based insurance plan and a co-brand insurance plan with. We are updating, as an example, about 1,400 data fields about all providers that we service and make available to you on a daily basis. So we know what availability doctors have, where we could get you in. If you talk to one of our telemedicine doctors, that doctor notices that there may be something wrong with you that you got to go and see a doctor for in person, he can right away in real time connect you up to a doctor that can then see you in person. And that requires a data flow between the systems we have in a connectivity back to the network that delivers care, actually, and a just product design that's comprehensive, that is quite unique.
Now, your co-founder is Josh Kushner, Jared Kushner's brother. I'm curious, what kind of a role does he play today?
Josh is my co-founder. We sat together 5 years ago and were complaining about our healthcare experiences. My wife was pregnant with her first kids. no idea how much this would cost me, where this would take me, what I have to do to really help her. I had a little cheat sheet a year later for my daughter's birth that would show me the C-section rates of the OBGYNs that I might encounter that night of the birth when I went to the hospital, using our Oscar data, so I could actually know where I have to watch out for somebody pushing us into a C-section potentially. And Josh at the time was complaining about having gone to the ER, sprained his ankle playing basketball, and having had a bad experience also in trying to get healthcare in a convenient way. So we've been in this since the very beginning, but what we spend our day on, and I see him at least once or twice a day in thinking this through, is we think about what's the next feature we got to launch, how do we make our messaging more powerful, how do we have our concierge teams, which is a unique model. We have any member of Oscar has 4 concierge team members that can watch in real time what's happening with you in the healthcare system, and anytime you talk to us, one of those 4 will talk to you. What is the next feature we launch through those concierge teams? That's what Josh and I talk about every single day.
So, you know, I got to ask, there's a lot of noise around this administration and around Jared Kushner particularly. Does any of that affect you?
I think no. I would say we're heads down. We're building a product. We, if you look at the membership base we have, about a third of the members we have came in because friends and family members told them, go buy Oscar, it's awesome, you know. So we might be the first virally growing health insurance company that ever existed, which is a funny oxymoron in a sense. So that's what we're focused on, heads down on. I do think we have a unique sort of like frontline reporting from changing healthcare system. Again, if we don't do something about the underlying unit cost issue in US healthcare, healthcare is going to bankrupt the country. There is, I think, no way out except for making the system, pushing the system more towards risk sharing, individualization, consumerization, and so we do go out to, you know, Republican and Democratic senators and so on, and try to share some of these observations we have from the front end of making that transformation happen, because I do think the US healthcare system needs to be more consumerized, individualized, and I am kind of hoping that any conversation happening there right now, which I hope will be eventually bipartisan, will push the system more towards the direction. Otherwise, we're just moving too high costs from left to right. It's not going to help anybody.